Right now at 6, Kansas lawmakers are trying to add more protections to shield agriculture workers from animal rights activists.
And we've got ourselves a cloudy and breezy start to the day. We're starting to see also a few more showers out there. Take a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, hundreds of people came out to a local farm on Saturday to help celebrate Easter with some fluffy friends.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Monday here in the 4 states.
Yeah, it's here
it's
again.
Start of the week. Yeah, how did that happen? Last week went by really fast. The weekend went by really fast.
It did.
Too.
Just like that.
Hopefully you folks at home had a good weekend. Hopefully you had a good weekend.
You as well, Chris.
Yeah, wasn't bad. Yesterday wasn't bad. Breezy, but
breezy,
at least it was
for
warmer.
Sure.
I was able to send the kids down to the park. They thoroughly enjoyed that. Even though,
good.
You know, their hour and a half down there just wasn't sufficient, of course, because... But, you know, you can't please them all the time. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to please too many of you with the forecast. Now, we need the rain, and that's the one pleasing part about all this is we are getting the rain, but it's going to get downright cold behind this front. We'll talk about that a little later. First, a look outside. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. It is shaking in the wind. Take a look at the flags on City Hall. Very breezy out there this morning. We're seeing gusts 35, in some cases even 40 miles an hour. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line, looking back to the west. Even it's kind of swaying just a little in the wind out there. Right now in the Skywatch Storm Tracker, rather. I'm not used to having this here. We haven't had a lot to talk about in the mornings here until today. We've got the bulk of the heavier rain right now is off to our south and east. However, take a look at all these little showers starting to pop up out here. That's right about the zone we were talking about this morning. We're expecting some redevelopment right in this zone, so along and immediately north of I-44, and that's where we could see a few scattered showers through the first half of our day. Out to the west, you're going to be cloudy, you're going to be breezy, but not looking too much at the wave rain through the morning and early afternoon hours. We're at 56 in Joplin right now, 55 in Pittsburgh. There's that cold front, very clearly defined out there, and they've got winter weather advisories, and blizzard warnings into parts of northwestern Kansas and into Nebraska out there. Thankfully, we're not going to see that. I'm fine with not seeing a blizzard. We are sitting pretty decently, though. Even though the winds make it feel a lot cooler out there, we are sitting in the 50s across the area. Kids getting on the bus. Again, some of you may have some showers, otherwise cloudy, breezy, south winds gusting to 35, 57. Kids getting home from school today, mostly cloudy skies, still breezy, still seeing gusts 35, maybe 40 in some cases. Believe it or not, though, we have no wind advisories in effect. They're off to our east. If that changes, of course, we'll let you know, but right now, no wind advisory. 62 when that bus brings them home. Now, the winds will eventually die down, at least briefly, as we head into the afternoon and evening hours as that cold front approaches. And by this evening, that cold front expected to trigger some thunderstorms along that, and some of those could be strong to low-grade severe with hail and wind being the primary concern, and that's roughly in a window from, say, about 5 to 9 this evening. We'll have more details on that in your complete forecast a little later. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Well, voters in Missouri were able to cast their ballot Saturday for the Democratic presidential primary. This primary election nominates a Democratic presidential nominee. It was held after Missouri representatives failed to implement the presidential preference primary voters may be used to. Organizers say they hope voters still participate despite the change.
We like it the way it was before because it's just better for functioning democracy to have a primary process instead of a caucus, and to have it run by the state because more people will vote.
Organizers say official numbers from Saturday's election may not be announced until later on this week. Saturday's ballots are being transported to St. Louis where they are being counted. The state of Missouri is exceeding the federal limit of how long it takes to review Medicaid applications. February was the third straight month exceeding the limit. The median time it took Missouri's Social Services Department to process Medicaid applications for low-income Missourians in February was 77 days. That means half of the applications processed in February had been pending for at least 2.5 months. According to federal law, those applications need to be processed in 45 days. Kansas lawmakers are trying to add more protections to shield agriculture workers from animal rights activists. A bill in the House would make it illegal to enter an animal facility or field crop production area without permission of the owner, or to knowingly make false statements on an employment application to gain access to those places. This push stems from incidents of activists attempting to secretly film suspected abuse of animals. The new bill would also clear up constitutional concerns raised by a federal court about Kansas's current protections for the ag industry. The Kansas legislature is unlikely to pass a Medicaid expansion this term as the Republican-led House halted a bill with strong support from residents. The House discussed the bill for one day after 900 people provided testimony on dozens of rallies were held statewide in support of it. The House committee that heard the bill voted to halt it by a vote of 12-5, falling along party lines. Governor Laura Kelly, who has spent months rallying across the state for expansion, called the move disappointing. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, hundreds of people came out to a local farm on Saturday to help celebrate Easter with some fluffy friends. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on the guest of honor at a special egg hunt.
It's really fluffy, so.
People from all around came together at a farm in Greenfield to celebrate Easter with some fluffy friends. Baby Highland cows, goats, bunnies, and chicks joined families in the festivities.
We decided that we wanted to get reach to the community to bring families together with the things that we love the most, which is nature, animals, and just having family connections.
Local high school students were volunteers at the event and helped showcase different animals to families.
Kids can have a lot of fun here, like if they can spend time with their family and friends and stuff.
Organizers say the amount of attendees is far more than they expected.
It's great to see this many people coming out. For an event we thought we might get a couple hundred. It's been fantastic.
Participants at the egg hunt say it was the cutest and fluffiest way to celebrate Easter.
I like cows and I like Easter egg hunts.
The Reeveses say helping to bring families together is the best part.
Well, I don't think there's a lot that families get to do that's open to the public, that is free or lower cost, and this is a great way for families to come out and enjoy the fresh air, get to see the countryside.
And their hard work did not go unnoticed.
Thank you so much for doing this for all of us.
Thank you so much for providing us Easter egg hunt. They did the same thing for Christmas also.
Reporting in Greenfield, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The organizers of Saturday's egg hunt say they hope to partner their Highland cows and area nonprofits in the future to help support the community. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Reddit's first week of trading on the New York Stock Exchange is in the books. We'll have the details. Plus, Russia observed a national day of mourning Sunday after a terror attack Friday night at a concert hall in Moscow. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Monday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Yourself in a new Toyota.
Great deals and the products you need to start your new spring projects. Hurry in for early Spring Fest deals.
Well, topping Nation Watch this morning. If your March Madness bracket is busted, don't feel too bad. Apparently, it's the same for everyone else. After a second day of games in the men's NCAA tournament and even more upsets, the NCAA says there are no perfect brackets left on its own game, CBS's or Yahoo's. ESPN says just 3 perfect brackets remain on its site after 28 games. On Friday, Yale upset Auburn and Colorado knocked off Florida. So far, 6 double-digit seeds have advanced to the second round, and that's why it's called March Madness. Well, Reddit's first week of trading on the New York Stock Exchange is in the books. Friday marked the second full day of trading for the social media company, and stocks closed at the $46 per share. That's down from Thursday when Reddit made its debut with an initial price offering of $34. Shares started trading at $47 and reached a high of almost $58 before closing Thursday at $50. Russia observed a national holiday of mourning Sunday after a terror attack Friday night at a concert hall in Moscow. The death toll has surpassed 135 people. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports on the aftermath from New York.
Over the weekend, 4 suspects accused of the deadliest attack in Russia in 2 decades appeared in court. The men were bruised and one sat in a wheelchair with his eyes closed. It's unclear how they were injured. The court said 3 of them submitted guilty pleas. Priests held a prayer service at a makeshift memorial outside Krakow City Hall that keeps growing as mourners leave flowers and stuffed animals. Russian President Vladimir Putin lit a candle for the victims Sunday as the country marked the National Day of Mourning. The Islamic State released a video of what it said was the beginning of the attack after claiming responsibility. In an address to the nation, Putin did not mention ISIS and instead pointed the finger at Ukraine, saying the attackers were getting help across the border while trying to escape.
Vladimir Putin is already trying to link this to Ukraine and say that Ukraine is responsible. Does the U.S. have any evidence to back that up?
No, there is no whatsoever any evidence, and in fact what we know to be the case is that ISIS-K is actually, by all accounts, responsible for what happened.
Ukraine also denied any involvement. The U.S. says it had warned Russia about an imminent attack.
We also know that ISIS is relying on its regional affiliates to attack its interests in the West.
At the concert hall that was set on fire during the assault, crews are working to sift through the debris. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
In addition to the more than 135 people killed in the attack, more than 180 others were also hurt during the incident. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a breezy and somewhat decent start to the day. The Skywatch Storm Tracker, though, showing the bulk of the rain is off to our south and east, but we are starting to see a few more showers develop along and immediately north of the I-44 corridor, and that's expected to be the case as we go through the morning hours. So some of us will continue to see a few showers through the morning. Most of those rather out west will remain dry. Our camera 7th and range line looking pretty good out there. And in terms of our conditions today, we got showers, then we could see some thunderstorms this evening, and our highs topping out in the the mid 60s with winds gusting out of the south up to 35. We'll have a full look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Hello everyone, my name is Christina.
Hurry into your local Honda dealer today.
Ashley, this is home.
Well, Buster the Labrador Retriever has gone viral for being a bad dog in the swimming pool. His owner posted a video of her 10 attempts to get him to come out of the water, and each time he ignored her commands and leaped back in. As Jeannie Moose reports, everyone out of the pool doesn't apply to this guy.
Come here. Buster has made a splash on the internet.
Buster! Come here. Come here. Come here, you little
with his lovable disobedience.
Come here. Come here.
A Florida resident who can't seem to leave the pool.
Be a good boy for once in your life.
Buster is only a bad dog when it comes to the pool.
He's not a rambunctious crazy dog, except for whenever he wants to get in the pool.
Jennifer Henry posted 10 futile efforts.
Hey, are you ready to come in?
To get Buster out of the pool so she and her husband could make it to a dinner reservation.
Hey, that's what's my towel. Don't you dare, Buster.
But hey, at least he tends to bring the towel back out of the pool. It was only when her husband used his I mean business voice.
Let's go, come on.
That Buster and their 14-year-old dog Scooby headed for the house, though Buster contemplated taking one more dip.
No, sir. Buster, get over here now.
You'll notice both dogs disobey.
Come here. Come here.
But only Buster gets busted.
He's the instigator. Scooby does not get in unless Buster gets in first.
Jennifer has used a net to try and retrieve the retriever. When she's really serious, she uses his full name.
Buster Henry, Buster.
The lab often wears swimming shoes because his paws get bloody from the unlined concrete, and to protect their 10-year-old son from Buster, his fans can't get enough. Love me some Buster.
He has brought so much joy to our family.
Even if Buster keeps busting her chops.
You were supposed to go potty, not swimming.
Jeannie Most, CNN, New York.
Oh, I love Buster. I love when he shows up on my feed. I always got to stop and watch him. Well, here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
That's like I've said before, I don't need pets, I have kids, because I've had those exact moments where I'm like, we're leaving, get in the car. And they don't want to do it. And you yell at them for 10 minutes and they still don't get in the car. And then they say you're the rudest parents ever because we have to leave the park. Anyway, we've got a few showers off to our southeast, a few more trying to redevelop across the area. We're going to talk about our full forecast and our thunderstorm chances this evening when we come back.
It's a beautiful morning, Scotty, and we have an early game today. That injured
Yama and Grove, Integris Health, partnering with people to live healthier lives.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 622 now on this Monday morning. Taking a look once again at Skywatch Storm Tracker. Heavier rain off to our south and east, still clipping Benton County and parts of Berry County out there. And we have isolated showers trying to redevelop right in that same zone that we've been talking about. So if these really get going like the Future Track thinks they will, we'll have a little bit of a rain shield across parts of the area as we head through the morning. If they don't, then we're just going to have some isolated showers. As we head into the evening, though, as that cold front actually gets here, we could see some thunderstorms along that front. Some of those could be strong, low-grade severe, with hail and wind being the primary concerns in the counties highlighted in brown. As you can see, it is a relatively isolated zone for the stronger storms, but it is something that we will keep an eye on. So here's the Future Track's thought process here. Here's those showers. Now, it is showing some back in the southeastern Kansas, but as we've mentioned through the morning, I think this zone here is going to be our better opportunity for some showers through the morning. Then this afternoon, we get this window of clearing out in parts of southeastern Kansas. So some of you may actually go a little warmer than your neighbors, depending on just how much sunshine you get, before we start to see showers and storms develop. By 5, we've got a decent little line of showers and storms out to the west, and this is where that window for strong storms will come in. So that's the thing, is that window of destabilization this afternoon in Kansas isn't very long, and as you saw, it's not a very big area in the big picture when it comes to thunderstorms, but it's going to be just enough to trigger a few of them. This line of storms is expected to shove on off to the east right along that cold front, and by about 9 o'clock it is out of here and we get on the backside of that cold front. Yeah, that's the possibility of even a few snow showers in our far northern counties. So not going to add up to anything, shouldn't add up to anything, but don't be surprised if you see a flurry or two. The winds shift out of the west overnight, and take a look at these temperatures by tomorrow morning into the 30s out there. By noon, we're only in the upper 30s and low 40s, and it's going to be breezy for the first half of our Tuesday as well. As if today and yesterday aren't windy enough, it's going to be windy again overnight tonight and into the first part of our Tuesday. Winds could gust 35, maybe 40 miles an hour as we head into the afternoon. Then by this evening, ahead of that front, the winds will calm down a little bit before they'll pick back up out of the west overnight and start gusting again, and then they'll calm back down again as we head into Tuesday afternoon. We'll finally get a little reprieve from those gusty winds. All right, 56 in Joplin right now, mostly cloudy, south-southeast breeze at 21, gusting to 33. It's been breezy all morning. There's a clear picture of that cold front off to our northwest, but for us, we are thankfully a little bit better. By the way, off to our west, they've got winter weather advisories and blizzard warnings in parts of western and northwestern Kansas and Nebraska. So thankfully, nothing like that here. We're all sitting in the 50s out there. We get our day started. Again, it is going to be cloudy. It is going to be breezy. And some of us, again, almost right along and east of 69, could see a few isolated showers. 58 by 11. A few isolated showers again for some of us. Otherwise, cloudy and breezy. Highs ahead of that front, making about 65 degrees. Then we'll get those thunderstorms this evening, again between about 5 and 9, and then we clear out a bit And clouds return overnight, and we are cold tonight, dropping back down to 30. Upper 40s tomorrow, cloudy, very just almost February-like day. And we'll start to clear out and warm up as we head into the weekend. Take a look at Sunday, pushing 80 degrees, 78 on Monday. Another system, though, not only brings some additional showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two, but take a look, kicks our temperatures right back down again as we continue to make this transition from winter to summer here in the 4 states. That is a check of your forecast. Now we're going to send it over to Elise with Health Watch.
Researchers say good bacteria in your gut may dramatically cut risks from infections. A study shared at the European Congress of Clinical Microbiology and Infectious Diseases found up to a 25% lower risk of hospitalizations from any infection for every 10% increase in butyrate producing bacteria. But they say more research needs to be done before bacteria can be used as treatment. A new study probes the potential link between type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's disease. Research at Texas A&M University studied mice and found inflammation in the gut related to diabetes may pass through the liver and onto the brain. The researchers say controlling diabetes and eating a healthy diet may reduce the risk of developing Alzheimer's. And a nationwide survey of parents found many middle and high school kids are taking reluctant to take a sick day from school even when they report they're feeling ill because they're afraid it could affect their grades. The survey from the University of Michigan Health found 2/3 of parents say their child worries about an absence, and that's a factor in deciding whether to keep a child home when they're unwell. 1/4 of parents say they'll send their student to school and hope for the best. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
In the heart of Grove, Oklahoma, a new era of healthcare has arrived. Introducing Integris.
Nowhere else has over 1.3 million in paid claims at zero cost to customers.
We've got you covered forever at Roper Honda.
Right now at 6:30, Wyandotte Nation gives back to the community with a local food distribution.
And we've got ourselves a breezy and mild start to the day. We've got some showers out there. We'll take a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Central Christian Center in Joplin Sunday got into the Easter spirit with an egg hunt.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Monday.
Yes, it is. What are you doing, Chris?
I don't know. That last house story, I'm increasing things.
I'm in pain from laughing. Okay.
I figured it'd happen eventually. I have that skill, and I don't know what it is, but I broke Tanya, I broke Caitlin, and at some point we're going to come onto the show, and you are not going to be able to speak for a solid 5 minutes. Because we have fun here. I want folks at home really to truly know.
We do. Sometimes it hurts.
We really do have a lot of fun here. At 5 o'clock in the morning, if you're not laughing and having a good time, this show would be terrible. You guys would hate it. Because we would be hating each other. We would be hating the morning. We wouldn't enjoy. It would be bad. So we've got to have a little fun and increase those rates by 10 to 12%.
To be a fly on the wall here, I tell you.
Gosh, tell me about it. Well, we also have some rain showers out there this morning, and we could see some thunderstorms this evening. And unfortunately, some of those could be on the strong side. We're going to talk about all that in the full forecast here in just a moment. But first, a quick look outside from the MoDOT camera at 32nd and Range Line. We're looking good. It's been swaying a bit in the wind like it is now because we've still got those gusty winds to contend with. Take a look at that. Those are some of those winter weather advisories out in Kansas. We are thankfully not going to deal with any of that here. Skywatch Storm Tracker, the bulk of the heavy rain off to our southeast. So parts of Berry County, a little bit of Mack County, and into Benton County. And they're starting to fall apart again, but we've had a few stray showers trying to get going out there. If you see on the loop, you'll see them kind of flare up a bit and fizzle out. But in this zone here, along and just immediately north of I-44, we could see some additional scattered showers through through the morning. All right, 56 in Joplin right now, 56 in Pittsburgh as well. So temperature-wise, not bad. There's that clear picture of that cold front. We're all sitting in the 50s as we get our morning started out there. So again, if you take the wind out of the equation, which we can't, but if you did, it's not a bad start to the day. 57 when the kids get on the bus, maybe a stray shower or two. Otherwise cloudy, breezy, south winds gusting to 35. Will be mostly cloudy, an isolated shower or two when that bus brings them home. 62, still dealing with those winds gusting upwards of 35, maybe even 40 miles an hour in some cases. We're looking at highs right around 65. We're going to spend most of the day cloudy, again, a few isolated showers. And then this evening, once that cold front actually arrives, we could see some thunderstorms with some hail and wind as a possible concern with some stronger storms this evening. We're going to dive into that in detail with the full forecast a little later. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Hawaiian.Nation Saturday provided meals to the community during a local food distribution. The food donated was free to the first 350 families. It included breads, dairy, fruits, protein, and vegetables. Organizers say this event is just one way they can give back to the community.
The price of groceries have skyrocketed, and food has become a real issue, especially in a small rural community like Wyandotte in this area. And so, we just figure it's one way that we can do our part to help meet the need, to make sure that people have food in this area.
Saturday's event had more than 20 Hawaiian.Nation volunteers. Southwest Missouri Bank Saturday hosted a community breakfast fundraiser for area veterans. Proceeds from the benefit go to the sponsorship of a service dog for a disabled veteran through Heartland Canines. Saturday, we asked a local veteran how his service dog is able to help him.
I can tell you right off the top of my head, Riley's helped me cut down on about 90% of my medication. She encourages me just as much as I encourage her to get back into public. To feel more comfortable and confident in different situations, and that's life-changing.
The breakfast included all-you-can-eat biscuits and gravy and pancakes. KCU students in Joplin Saturday had the chance to participate in a mass casualty simulation. The purpose of the event was to learn and practice vital skills that will help them to prepare for real-world events. First-year students acted as the victims, while the second-year students acted as the EMTs.
KCU students are very lucky that we have this event every year because this is very critical. Things can happen at any time, and to be able to be ready and be able to simulate these disasters and be able to learn how to deal with it, I think it's very vital, and we're going to go out there and shine.
Saturday's simulation began at 9 a.m. and wrapped up around 11. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The Senate successfully passed a government funding bill early Saturday to help the world's poorest countries. And rain chances stick around for today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
At Quapaw Casino, where there's always plenty of cash to win. Quapaw Casino, Miami, Oklahoma.
And Consumer Watch this morning. On April 8th, a rare event will occur in the sky. People in parts of the U.S. will be able to witness a total eclipse, while others will see a partial eclipse. To view it, you must wear proper eyewear, but experts are warning that fakes are hitting the market and they could damage your eyes. Danya Bacchus visited a legitimate manufacturer and has tips on how to make sure your glasses are safe.
Nice product. And then Chloe's putting together our pillow box product.
It's a busy time at Rainbow Symphony in Los Angeles. Mark Margolis' company is shipping out glasses for the solar eclipse. That's a couple of weeks away, but he's been making glasses for 2 years.
How many glasses have you produced over, the last
2 years?
2 years.
Really tens of millions of pairs. Yeah.
His glasses are made in the U.S., come with an ISO seal, and are certified with the number 12312-2. However, experts are warning that foreign companies are making fakes. The American Astronomical Society says one or more unidentified factories in China are now producing counterfeit eclipse glasses. This counterfeit pair looks very similar to the real thing, and on the inside it even has the correct number in the name of a legitimate American manufacturer.
We know that there are counterfeits, which may or may not be safe, and we know that there are fakes, which I define as being unsafe.
So how do you know if your glasses are safe? NASA offers this advice.
Take your eclipse glasses and find a bright light, like a lamp or a flashlight. Hold your eclipse glasses up to the light and look through them. The light will appear extremely dim or not appear at all when looking through the glasses.
Eclipse glasses are at least 1,000 times darker than the very darkest ordinary sunglasses.
On its website, the American Astronomical Society lists authorized dealers that sell safe glasses.
We've been working long hours during the week and then also on weekends.
Margolis says supplies are going quickly, so shoppers might want to buy soon before the glasses, like the sun, disappear. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the Senate's successful passage of a $1.2 trillion government funding bill early Saturday will allow the U.S. to lend up to $21 billion to an International Monetary Fund trust to help the world's poorest countries. The trust provides zero interest rates loans to the countries as they stabilize their economies. The successful passage of the legislation that President Biden signed into law over the weekend also averted a government shutdown. Millions of Americans could soon lose subsidies for internet access. The $14 billion Affordable Connectivity Program will run out of funding this spring unless Congress approves more money. It provides $30 a month to low-income households for their internet bills and $75 to those on eligible tribal lands. Mega Millions Mania continues with no winning ticket for Friday's jackpot and now tops $1 billion for the sixth time in less than 6 years. There have been 30 drawings in a row without a jackpot winner. Your next chance to become a billionaire is tomorrow night. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Now here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Well, if I am not here Wednesday morning, then I must have won the Mega Million. Actually, I would keep working. I would have to. There's no way I could stop. I mean, I could take a vacation and then I'd be bored. All right, let's take a look at what's not boring. We've still got some heavier showers still off to our southeast parts of Berry County and into Benton County. We had some isolated showers trying to get going, but they kind of flared up and fizzled right back out. But this is the zone where we could see a few additional showers as we go through the morning hours. Right now in Joplin, it is 56, and in Pittsburgh, it is also 56, but we're also dealing with that south wind gusting to 35. There's that cold front. And it's going to bring us some changes in our forecast. We're going to talk about that here in just a few minutes. Right now, though, we are all sitting in the 50s across the area. So again, if the wind wasn't a problem, it's actually a fairly mild morning. Some of us are pushing close to 60 out there, but that wind does not help. All right, kids getting on the bus. Cloudy skies, breezy, south wind 20 to 25, gusting to 35. Will be about 57. Well, that bus brings them back home. Again, a few isolated showers, otherwise mostly cloudy. South breeze 15 to 25, gust to 35, and in some cases upwards of 40 miles an hour, and we'll be about 62 by the time that bus brings them home. Like I mentioned, we do have that cold front. It is going to make it colder, at least briefly out there. It's also going to bring us some thunderstorm chances. We're going to look at that too with the full forecast. It's also just about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Those are coming up after the break, but first, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, David Begnaud has a story about a terrible loss bringing a community together. He'll introduce you to a group who helped a woman find her cat after devastating wildfires wiped out their town. It's David Begnaud, so grab a tissue for these issues. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
New CBS Tonight. For federal agents with a higher cost.
Time for some Monday birthdays here in the 4 states. We're going to start in Thayer with Brooklyn Robinson celebrating birthday number 9 with birthday love coming from Grandpa and Grandma.
And a happy birthday to Grantham Bishop in Nevada. He's turning 10 today. It says lots of love from your favorite cousin, Fisher Kate.
And in Iola, we've got Briley Burke celebrating birthday number 12. Says happy birthday with love from Dad, Megan, and Macy.
And a happy birthday to Olivia Harris in Minda Mines, who's turning 13.
Over in Pittsburgh, Allie Wade celebrating birthday number 15. A very happy birthday to you, Allie.
And happy birthday to Bob Davis, turning 46 from Columbus.
And Crystal Johnson in La Russell celebrating birthday number 53. Happy birthday, Crystal.
And a happy birthday to Kelly Cunningham, who's turning 59 from Lamar. It says happy birthday, Brandon Mays from Kelly. Oh.
Okay. All right. A little confusing on that note. That there's a possibility of a typo. But either way, a very happy birthday to you, Kelly. We also have Pamela Coraine Brown celebrating birthday number 63 in Pittsburgh. A very happy birthday to you, Pamela.
And a happy birthday to Kathy Alsdorf, who's turning 67 from Carthage. It says with love from your husband and all the family.
And we have Judy Garner celebrating birthday number 81. Mike, it's Monday. I'm so sorry, Judy. Hey, you know what, though? You're only as old as you feel. 61 sounds like a good number. But Judy really celebrating birthday number 81 over in Pittsburgh.
And a happy birthday to Mildred Childers, who's turning 98 from Joplin. It says, happy birthday, Mom. I love you, Steve and Darlene.
And our list continues with Charles McKinney celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, Charles.
And a happy birthday to Brenda Armstrong from Moran.
And in Crestline, Jason Ferris celebrating birthday number 47. That was a great list of birthdays and anniversaries. My presentation of them, on the other hand, not so great. But if you'd like to celebrate with us regardless, what do they need to do, Elise?
They need to submit to birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com. Make sure to include those pictures and messages and meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen.
All right, let's take a look at that forecast. First, we're going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. The bulk of the heavier activity still off to our southeast, slowly pushing east, so parts of Berry County and into Benton County. And then those showers are attempting to make a little bit of a comeback here, right around Joplin. Not impressive on the radar by any means, but there they are again out there, and you can see shower activity stretching as far north as Mount Vernon out there. Some of that may not necessarily be reaching the ground. We had some showers. They flared up, fizzled out, and now we're getting some new showers attempting to develop. And this zone right here, right along and just right north of I-44, we could see some additional scattered showers as we go through the morning. Then as we head into the evening, we have those thunderstorm chances. Some of those could be strong, low-grade severe. Right now, the main concern would be with some hail and perhaps some gusty winds with the stronger storms. You can see this risk area at this point is also relatively isolated. There's a greater severe threat, but that is well to our south down along the Gulf Coast. So we don't have to deal with that, but some stronger storms possible once that cold front actually works its way in. So again, future track, this zone here and to the east is where I think the better opportunities for some isolated to scattered showers will be through the morning, but a few sprinkles will be possible across parts of southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma. Then as we head into the afternoon, we get this clear corridor right here where some of us, like Chanute, for example, Fredonia, Coffeyville, could be a little warmer than the rest of us with the highs today, depending on how much sunshine you get. That's going to be the other factor in our thunderstorms. This is a narrow corridor of sunshine and clearing, but could be just enough to destabilize us, just enough for some thunderstorms, and again, for the possibility for a couple of those to be on the strong side this evening. So that's what we're going to watch, because by 5 o'clock, here they go. Those are those thunderstorms starting to flare up along the line out there with that cold front, and as the cold front pushes through, those storms will roll right through with it. Here we are at 7. They're right along and in between the 69 and 49 corridors out there, and it'll continue to roll off to the east, and by 9 it is out of here And yeah, that is the possibility of a few isolated to widely scattered snow showers in our far northern counties up there. Won't add up to anything, but still, it's going to get pretty darn cold because this is tomorrow morning. We are cloudy, breezy, west winds now, and it is into the 30s out there. By noon, we're only sitting in the upper 30s, low 40s. It is not going to be a very warm Tuesday for us at all. It's also going to be quite cloudy, kind of a dreary Tuesday out there, but worry not, it will get better. Through today, though, we're still going to be dealing with those winds out of the south and southeast, gusting upwards of 35, potentially 40 miles an hour. Then, as that front approaches, winds will calm down at least for a moment, and then they'll pick back up overnight. And the first half of our Tuesday, we'll have westerly winds out there, gusting still upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour. And as we get into the afternoon, those winds will eventually begin to calm down a bit for us. In Joplin right now, it is mostly cloudy, 56, south-southeast breeze at 21 with those gusts upwards of 33 miles an hour, so it's making it chilly. There's that cold front off to our north and west, so ahead of it right now, if it wasn't for the wind, it's really not a bad start to the day. We're mid-upper 50s, getting close to 60 in parts of northeastern Oklahoma out there, so not a bad start to the day, but the wind makes it feel a lot cooler out there. We're going to have those scattered showers for some of us this morning, otherwise cloudy and breezy for everyone, and we'll be right about 58 by 11 o'clock this morning. And that is ahead of not bad highs out there, about 65 ahead of the front. Again, cloudy, isolated showers, and breezy out there. And we'll get that momentary pause ahead of the thunderstorm chances as we head into the evening hours. And again, that's going to be roughly between, say, 5 and 9 tonight. So we'll keep an eye on those storms for you. And then overnight tonight, once those winds pick back up, not only are we cold with lows falling back into the 30s, we're also going to have to deal with some wind chills back into the 20s out there as well. We're having another look at your forecast, including that 7-day, tell you when it will warm back up. And we'll have the news you need to know. All of that coming up in a moment. And when we make the switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to see how a high school class on video game design is much more than just playing games.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Kansas lawmakers are trying to add more protection for agriculture workers. The bill would make it illegal to enter an animal facility or field crop production area without permission of the owner, or to knowingly make false statements on an employment application to gain access to those places. The Southwest Missouri Bank Saturday hosted a community breakfast fundraiser for area veterans. Proceeds from the benefit go to the sponsorship of a service dog for a disabled veteran through Heartland Canines. The breakfast included all-you-can-eat biscuits and gravy and pancakes. And Wine.Nation Saturday provided meals to the community during a local food distribution. The food donated was free to the first 350 families. It included bread, dairy, fruits, protein, and vegetables. Organizers say this event is just one way they can give back to the community. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And we are looking at highs today, about 65, a few isolated to scattered showers for some of us through the afternoon and morning hours, otherwise cloudy, winds gusting to 35 out of the south. We head into this evening, a cold front approaches, and between about 5 and 9, could see some thunderstorms out there, and some of those could be strong with hail and gusty winds as the primary concern, so we'll keep an eye on those storms for you. Once that front pushes through, gusty west winds down to 30 tonight, only into the upper 40s tomorrow, but the good news is we start warming up toward the end of the week and into the weekend, pushing near 80 ahead of another system to kick off the next work week out there. So today, not bad aside from the rain. Tomorrow, very cool outside, and then we'll warm up again just in time to enjoy the weekend.
Oh, wonderful, because it's definitely going to be chilly tomorrow for sure.
It will be.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making baked overstuffed shrimp in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Coming up, Dr. John LaPook shares some medical insight to the Princess of Wales, revealing she has cancer. Royal contributor Tina Brown also discusses what it means for the royal family.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Ben Bollinger and Lucy Brookshire join us in the studio to talk about the Pittsburgh High School murder mystery dinner.
And Rafi Andonian also join us in the studio to talk about Dr. Norman Borlaug's 110th birthday. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5.
And we'll see you today at noon.